Barry Bonds will never enter the Baseball Hall of Fame. After decades of arguments, debates, and controversy, the baseball world finally received a definitive answer. On Sunday, the Hall of Fame's Contemporary Baseball Era Committee delivered a decision that shuts the door permanently on one of the sport's most polarizing figures. While 8 former players were considered, only one was chosen, Jeff Kentucky. And here is the irony that stunned baseball fans. Kent enjoyed his greatest years hitting right behind Barry Bonds for the San Francisco Giants. Together, they formed one of baseball's most feared 1-2 punches. Yet Kent is now a Hall of Famer, while Bonds remains on the outside forever. Supporters call it unfair. Critics call it justice. But everyone agrees it marks the end of an era. The reason behind Bonds' rejection remains the same: steroids. Fair or not, Barry Bonds has become the poster figure for performance-enhancing drug use. His records, his awards, even his legendary home run total have all lived under a shadow of suspicion. Meanwhile, Jeff Kent was one of the few players who openly spoke out against steroids during his career. He pushed for tougher drug testing even when others stayed quiet. With Kent's election on Sunday, many see a symbolic moment: baseball rewarding the player who spoke against PEDs while rejecting the superstar linked to them. The announcement wasn't just about Bonds. It was about everything baseball has struggled with for the last 30 years. The steroid era changed the game, inflated statistics, rewrote record books, and left the Hall of Fame voters with impossible decisions. Who deserves honor? Who deserves blame? And how do you separate guilt from suspicion? For years, the Baseball Hall of Fame instructed voters to consider integrity, sportsmanship, and character. That clause was ignored for decades. But the steroid era forced writers to use it, and voters became divided into 2 groups. Some refused to enshrine suspected users. Others argued that baseball was full of contradictions, and that fans cared about greatness more than purity. In Bonds' final year of eligibility with the writers back in 2022, he received far less support than expected. Meanwhile, David Ortiz, who also had a soft connection to PEDs, was elected easily. His numbers were far lower than Bonds, but his smile, friendliness, and relationship with media members helped him. To many, that vote proved that Hall of Fame selection had become personal. No matter which side you're on, the truth is this: Sunday's decision was the final chapter. The arguments are over. The Hall of Fame has officially chosen its direction. It is now the Hall of Fame minus most of the steroid-era superstars. That means the all-time home run king, Barry Bonds, is out. The all-time strikeout king, Roger Clemens, is out. Many of the biggest names from that era will never be honored in Cooperstown. And the Hall will no longer attempt to tell the full history of baseball. Instead, it will display only the players it considers worthy of celebration. Barry Bonds now becomes a tragic figure in baseball's story. A generational talent, a 7-time MVP, a player whose numbers may never be matched again, but a player whose career will always be tied to performance-enhancing drugs. He gained muscle, power, and historic production at an age when most players decline. And fans will forever debate what was real and what was chemically boosted. Today, Bonds seems content with life after baseball. He rides his bike around the Bay Area, helps Giants hitters, and remains close to the organization. He appears happy and healthy. But Sunday's announcement confirmed what many already suspected. His baseball legacy will always be complicated, and his plaque will never hang in Cooperstown. Some call it sad. Some call it justice. Others say Bonds, Clemens, and other steroid-era stars made their fortunes in the game and can build their own Hall of Fame if they want. Big, flashy, and fitting for their era. What's certain is that Sunday was a seismic moment in baseball history. The debate is over. The door is closed. Barry Bonds will not join Jeff Kent or any other Hall of Famer. And for the first time in decades, the baseball world can finally say this chapter is finished. This is USArc News. Stay with us for more updates, reactions, and analysis on the biggest stories in sports.